Okay. Recording started. For whenever we start.
Wait, are we meeting somewhere in game?
Don't worry
Yes,
about it.
we are at Risa.
Oh, same place as last time?
The building in between the promenade and the boardwalk.
Does it really matter if they're in
Probably.
game or like?
Maybe they want to be, so they can be there.
The lone single phallus standing up from a distance.
So where am I going?
Rise. Dance, people!
I see.
I hate you. I'm gonna go to the bus.
I don't understand why they made this place and they never actually use it, so...
Because it's Stowe, they do that all the time.
I made it so we can use it.
Good thing they knew we were coming.
Alright, we're gonna get this thing stopped.
Give him
You're
pepper for
eager.
a second.
You there?
Who's there? There's a crying emoji? Huh. I need that
Huh?
for Monday.
I just shattered a refresher on my desk.
What is it with you and breaking things?
46 megabyte.
You're really good at breaking things.
I know, my phone my desk today. My life
Alright,
tomorrow.
his foot. Oh, I was just gonna go with foot. It's gonna go so brute. Alright, Harry, let's start this thing so we can get.
Alright, so we're gonna start with the big thing.
Chicken.
No,
Little.
the reshuffle, the regroup.
Let's go into the let's do that first.
Alright. So basically we're gonna have a massive regrouping of how we have our fleet set up in probably a couple coming years or so. It'll take a long time to do it, but the plan is we're gonna delegate different fleets to different levels of activity. So the main fleet is going to be primarily for the people the sort of people that are in every day, like way more active. Just to make sure that if we want to do groups, that sort of thing, the main fleet is always going to have lots of people in there that are active and ready to join up whenever we need them. We're going to delegate the secondary fleet, Symphony of War, as the fleet for the casual players who don't log on as much but are still relatively active. And the rules for what Symphony will be in the future is going to be the same as what the rules for soldiers, the main fleet, Soldiers at War, is now. So, yeah. And then we have a new Gamma fleet, which is Shadows of War, which is going to replace Symphony in its role of housing everyone's alts and characters they don't use as often.
So the overall goal of this is we've talked, and the big thing is we want to be able to get groups together again, whether it's PvP, PvE, or we're helping a new person level. And what's happened over the years, especially since, I've said this before, Season 9. Season 9, we were a very well-known organization. We went to STFs, people knew it. We went into PvE or Karate. People knew who we were. We knew what was going on, how to do things. We have slid back from that quite a bit. So the restructure is to help regain that. We are getting a group together to start running in Karate and PvP. We're hopefully going to get the STF part and PvE back together and running. So when people see us, they're going to know this group knows what they're doing. We're going to become known again. Not as the guys that, hey, look, they're posting another recruitment message.
Cool.
Cool.
Now,
That's another thing I would like to add on top of that. If there's ever sort of like if you ever want to start getting into the sort of the higher end of like doing image and PvP, that sort of thing, we've got people in here that can give you advice and help out.
Scott, shut up.
Scott, yeah, can you close your mic, please? If that's possible.
Well, I'm actually out. I'm celebrating my birthday, but I'm actually joining with the fleet meeting. So
Alright, cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna put my mic on push to talk. All right.
Alright, cool.
Sweet dude.
Facepalm.
So, yeah, if you ever do decide that you want to get into PvP or high-end PvE, that sort of stuff, there's people here that can help you do that. So if you're struggling or want to figure stuff out, just ask someone and they'll be able to help.
And to kind of tie in with all of that, and I sent a message out, I know a lot of people seen it, Vision COs and XOs. We're stepping on you guys a little bit now to watch over the fleets that you're taking care of your soldiers at war, your responsibility as soldiers at war. And if you're World of Warships, your responsibility is that. That allows the fleet leaders and the admirals to work on growing the fleet itself. If we're stepping back and having to pay attention to every fleet and check every rank for everybody, that's taking the time away from us to be able to do what we need to do. And remember, we're just like you. We have limited time during a day to give to the game or anything. So we want to spread the responsibility out so it's easier for everybody and everybody still enjoys being a part of the group.
Okay.
So in the past where we've been lenient, kind of, the division COs haven't hopped on Discord or haven't been in voice, that's changing. We're expecting you now. It's part of your job to be on Discord, because there's going to be members on that have questions and they need to know. They don't need to know just me or Shockwave. They need to know the division leaders too. And part of your job, guys, is to do recruitment too. In that, Mark has stepped into the position for the KDF fleet. One Eye has volunteered himself to help be the CO for Shadows of War. He's got a lot of ideals and stuff he wants to push forward for the main fleet, so we're going to see how that works. We are going to start hosting events. And it's like I told him, I'm going to tell you, it's the first couple events, we probably won't get a big turnout. We have to keep going forward with them and keep doing them. As we push forward with these events, more and more people will take part in them. Anybody got any questions or...
I was going to say something actually. I was going to offer my services again as the XO of the other fleet that I was XO originally of, but because I left the fleet and left Discord over a stupid argument, I lost that position. I was actually going to say about me taking over that position again, and then I can actually start doing things properly. But that's down to Rage and Recker to decide on.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Someone had a question or something.
What's going to happen
Alright.
to Soldiers of? Because it's kind of being sidelined at the moment, I've noticed.
Soldiers of is really just a placeholder for the secondary armada. That may change in the future.
Okay.
I did have a question about the events that you mentioned that you were going to be hosting. What types of events are you looking to host exactly?
So,
Oh, this is my
back
thing.
to what we said a few minutes ago. Certain events are going to be, PvP within the fleet. Definitely STFs. And whatever else we can come up with to help interact. So if you have suggestions or ideals, we are definitely open to them. I know when I had a couple ideals last night, and I will turn the floor over to him so he can go over some of them.
Okay.
For those that are interested, I was thinking about starting some colony simulations, getting that a little bit more routine, maybe like weekly or monthly. And of course, timing is when people are on, and we can all partake is going to be the tricky part, but that was on the agenda. And I also, just to, if we want to make a presence in the game overall, then I was thinking just some simple stuff like learning to formation fly in certain areas of the actual game and not in the actual quest type mode or looking for anything. But if we want to help, that's going to help out with recruiting possibly, but small stuff like that. And of course, even with me, I'm open to ideas and everything else like that. Let's see. Yeah, I'm good. I think that covers it loosely as we're going forward.
One thing that I think we should also concentrate on is our World of Warships fleet, expanding that a bit more, getting some new members, so we can run clan battles on there finally, because we've been struggling to do that.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
And see,
I agree with
that's
that.
That's the other goal. And our division CO over there hasn't contacted me. Neither has the XO. Well, I think Shock
We
is filling
don't
in
have
for
an
that.
expert.
So we are going to be placing somebody over there, and that will become their full responsibility. And we understand, the leadership does, that this is not something that's going to happen within a week. This is something that's going to take time. We're going to implement these changes, and hopefully, over time, within a year or so, we build back up. We get that activity back on Discord. This also gives members more they have to do and more reasons to interact with the fleet.
And sort of linking into that, sort of with what I said before, the best way to get our name known is to have our players be more experienced, than the average player. And if we can have the majority of our players all being, in terms of capability in combat and in missions, if we can have most of our players above the average, the average member of just a normal mission that you'd run into, people start recognizing our name more as the guys that know what they're doing. And once we get that, that's going to be a massive increase to, not only the reputation of the group itself, but sort of how many members we'll be getting in.
No, recruitment.
Good point.
Yeah, because not only, and that sort of links into why we're going to reshuffle the fleets, because obviously we understand that not everyone can be always in game doing missions and stuff constantly, because everyone has a life and got shit to do, which is more important. But that's why we're reshuffling the groups. So we have the group full of the most active players, which will all be constantly running missions every other night or so, and then the secondary fleet will be, as the main fleet is now, mainly just casual people logging on here and there, just messing around, having fun.
And we're not against the casual player either. We still want them here, and we want to give them a place to be. It'll be more fun for the casual player too if we have the main fleet built up so they can run stuff, and it's easier for them to get gear and stuff too.
Yeah.
They'll have more enjoyment in it. And the bad thing is, I log in at night and I'll see anywhere from 5 to 12 members on. I'll post messages and I might get one reply, and then don't really get a whole lot back for running any STFs or randoms. And that's something I want to change. And personally, I don't care what we're running in the STFs. I don't care if it's normal, advanced, elite, just as long as something's being run with the group. That's the big, and then getting everybody back, on Discord doing this, because communication in some of these is important. Some missions, you just gotta point and kill everything.
Like Harry does.
Well, exactly.
Pretty much.
I mean, there's some of the ground stuff that, there's a certain sequence you have to do things in, and if you're not communicating, it doesn't happen very well.
Yeah, it's all well and good just being able to do ridiculous damage, but if you can't have coordination within the team, there's some missions that you just straight up can't.
Or you have to carry other people.
Well, no, there's, for example, a lot of the book missions, you need to have 3 or more people, or coordinating with each other to progress them.
Like IS.
And if you don't
basically it's the
coordinate,
people that know what
it's
they're doing.
impossible. Yeah, and if we have a group of people, or if we can make sure that most, if not all of our members know how to run all of these sorts of missions that require cooperation, we can group up and do that stuff all the time like it's nothing.
We just need a massive training program. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen too, slowly. And that was, I go back to the pre-season 9 thing for us. We had a training thing. You remember what would come in? We would go into a PvP map, and it wasn't, and we would tell them, we're not here to destroy you. We're here to see where you're standing in the game and what we can do to help you. And that way, we was able to help them start building up. Of course, we also had the gateway, so we could look at their builds. We don't have that anymore. That kind of hurts.
Does anyone have any questions?
Nope.
Not so far.
Not yet.
Okay.
Straightforward.
One thing to be looking forward within the next couple of weeks, some division COs will be stepped down to probably honored members, just because it's nothing against them, but we've got to have the structure so that we can do this.
We need active people, basically.
Well, that's another thing I would like to add. If anyone wants to take a leadership role, you're more than welcome to offer your services in terms of helping to run the fleets, and it'd just be a matter of proving that you know how to do it and that you'd be able to do it properly.
And a lot of people that have stepped into the division COs are new to the position. We have no problem teaching you how to do this. Mark here is new and he is learning, but he has, some decent ideals for the KDF side, and he's pushing for to try to help grow it. So we'll see how that goes. And the ideal for the COs time to cross over at different times, so they're not, say the CO's on a different time and the XO's on a different time. You guys can communicate back and forth through Discord so you know what's going on. But again, that gives more leadership coverage for the game and the division. And if we can grow enough, we'll have one CO, but we'll have a couple XOs under the COs to help spread the responsibility. Again, we're not trying to lay responsibility on one person. We're trying to spread it out to make it easier for everybody so everybody enjoys.
Like the original idea was 2 XOs for every CO.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've been playing this game for almost 5 years now, and I'm pretty experienced, compared to other people. But, I've been in this fleet for, I'd say, almost 3 years now. So, I'm usually on just about every other day. Some days out of the week I can't because I work 2 jobs, but I'll do what I can to help out. And if it's okay with you guys, I'd like to host PvP events most of the time when I'm online.
Perfect.
Even if it means that, even if it's just a few players, it doesn't have to be like, 10 or 12 people, but just to help out, because I'm on every day, or just whenever I get the chance.
So yeah, the best way to start doing that, if you can log onto the Discord regularly and talk to us, and just if you communicate with all the leadership and you can show that you can take a role, that sort of thing.
I can see.
I think if you want to try this, we'll move forward with it and see how it goes. Now, the first couple times you do this, you may not get any response from people. This is something that's going to, again,
right.
Yeah.
Takes time. And what happens, and I'm as guilty as everybody else, we try it once or twice, nothing happens, and we just give up. We've got to actually keep trying beyond that, because eventually hopefully it's like the snowball effect downhill. It'll keep growing and growing and growing and actually do something.
And can I just jump in and say, I've watched YouTube channels start up. I've watched small YouTubers, and it's kind of like that. You gotta watch it, like it's a snowball effect. It's taken people 4 years to get just over 1 million followers in that thing. And Rage is right. This is not an overnight thing. It's gonna take weeks to start building it. But if you set up a dedicated schedule, follow that schedule, people will be like, oh, right, he's on at this time, let's go join him. And it's going to get out. And that schedule needs to be followed to the best of your abilities.
And we can create events in the event tab of the fleet so people can look there. And if it's something you want to do, we can have fleet mail sent out telling people, and then we'll, division leaders, this is something important. Every week you just need to send an email out. I don't care if it's you or the XO. What's going on in the fleet, events that could be happening, this needs to happen. It doesn't have to be a long message, but it needs to happen. I don't care if it's Symphony, if it's Shadows, it's the KDF, period, needs to happen every week.
But yeah, like I was saying, I'll do what I can just to help out with, the getting the fleet and more PvPs and randoms in addition to my daily activities on SD.
Perfect. Coordinate with, the XOs and COs, let them know, hey, I'm doing this, so they can put that in their email, and then we'll put your schedule and the meeting too along in the event tab.
What fleet are you in, Striker?
I'm in Soldiers at War.
At War?
Main
yeah,
fleet.
Soldiers, yeah, SAW.
Okay.
That's your
And
fleet.
my rank is the captain honor rank, second from.
PM me, we'll work something out.
Okay. What's your in-game name?
Let's see. Go by the handle. That's all 1904.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Good to know. Rage.
I'm just reading, but that's a start. Harry has been working with Mark, and we've got 1 or 2 others, I think, that want to become part of what we're going to call the elite PvPers. And that's, again, down the road a little ways, because there's going to be lots of practice, lots of training. And Harry, I tell you, he's talked to some of the original and older KDF people that remember, what Saul was season 9, pre-season 9. We went in, again, the whole attitude of them changed because we were one of the Federation groups that they couldn't beat. Now if we go in there, it's like cannon fodder. And that's something I want to change.
Used to be you would load into an ISA within 5 minutes, we're done. Board as hell for 25 while it cools.
Yeah, basically what I would like to do is because I run with a lot of I don't know if many of you guys know about it, you probably don't, but there's a DPS leaderboard that we have where we just have a big leaderboard of everyone's damage per second. And me and a bunch of the guys that are really close to the top of it, we all run stuff all the time. And if we can have a big group of people that can all do a lot of damage, and sort of, if we can make a presence sort of in that sort of quote unquote meta community, as people like to call it, that sort of reputation is a really good way to expand our fleet. It's happened with other fleets in the past, and I think it will happen with us again in the future. Not only in terms of PvE, but PvP as well. So, sort of training people up to do way more damage, be more sort of competitive in PvP, that sort of thing, is a really good way to not only expand the group, but obviously it makes the game more fun as well. If you can just go in and solo any map on your own, it's a lot of fun.
It's also handy when you're helping new players too.
Yeah. Because then
It
a lot
also
of fleets,
interests them,
in
you
a lot-
know. And,
well,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, in a lot of fleets, there'll be experienced players, but there's players that have been playing since launch that are still not really that capable in combat. And then there's people that could have started playing a month ago who could be far more capable in combat just from a basic knowledge of how the game works. And it sounds really complicated to get into, but once you've sort of started dipping your toes in, it's a fun thing to do, and it's not that much. It doesn't take as much of a grind as people often make it out to. You can make it fun and sort of still play the game while trying to make the most out of what you're doing in it at the same time.
So
As you're not talking, I was going to say, I'm going to have to jump out of the meeting quickly because I've got to pop out because I've got to go and sort my son out. But
okay, man.
alright, what I'll do is I'll PM you, Rage, and me, you, and Recker will sit down and talk about that XO position, alright?
Alright, man.
Alright, anyway, I'll catch you guys later. I'm going to go and get a little bit drunk as well, as it's my birthday.
No big
Alright,
happy birthday once again.
Alright, man. Cheers, guys, and I'll catch you guys later.
Alright, see you.
Alright,
Later.
thank you all.
I've got to hop off as well because I've got dinner. So if anyone needs to message me, just send a ping.
So I'll finish this up real quick so everybody can go. The overall goal for us is we want to become well-rounded in the fleet, in the game. Tyler has talked a little bit about it, and I'll touch on it real quick. We're going to make changes in ships too, and try to get into clan battles there. That's happening. Again, I don't expect it overnight.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to run clan battles for people if they actually want.
You know, there's definitely going to be some practice there. The big goal is we're going to grow, and we're going to keep our community feeling, you know, because it's a good group to hang out with. Everybody's able to have fun here, and that's what we want to do. But we also want to be known again. You know, it's got to where I log on at night. I know there's people on during the day, but I can log on at night and maybe see 1 or 2 people. You know, we used to have 6 or 7 on a couple different rooms. So that's something that needs to change.
You do put a good ranger, but I mean,
Yeah, I've noticed a lack in population too.
Yeah, especially on the West Coast, nighttime over here. Like maybe Harry's on because he's on early in the morning, but
yeah,
that's
I
it.
mean,
So the
because
big
most
thing is,
guys,
I'm going to use this phrase again. Recruitment.
Yeah.
You know, we've got to get that general base on.
Do I have permission to publicize this meeting to get some more recruits potentially?
yeah,
Yes.
Okay. Also, IRL recruitment. I have one thing to report on that. There is someone I've been talking to about Soldiers at War with. He is going to start playing some World of Warships, and he has been playing Star Trek Online. The problem is he's confined to console, so he's playing the console version of each of these.
oh,
Yeah. And then there's someone else I'm kind of cooking up Soldiers at War with her. She might dip her toes in depending on the opportunities that present itself here in my end, but I am continuing the effort to recruit IRL, so I wanted to let you know about that.
Awesome. Yeah, if
May
you got
I-
friends you wanna bring in, do it.
May I make a comment about activity on voice chat?
Yes.
yeah,
So one thing that I've noticed and I found myself doing is I'll get on late at night, you know, when not a lot of people are on and no one will be on the voice chat, and I'll say, oh, well, no one's on, so I'm not gonna. I think if we who are on a lot, even if no one's on and we're playing, just hop on the voice chat and just sit here, people will see, oh, hey, someone's here. And maybe someone who never goes on the voice chat because they never see anyone on when they play will go, oh, I'll hop on the voice chat.
Yep.
So
That's the big thing. Like, you make a good point. We don't see anybody else, so we don't log in. We need to log in,
Right.
especially as leadership. That'll get
Just log in and just put yourself there, whatever. You don't have to have your mic on or anything. I just pop in and I'll just chill out for a while. Granted, I'm honored and all that, but still, there's a huge...
Just say something every once in a while so you don't get moved to AFK.
Yep.
See, the thing with me is, like, during the week, like Monday through Thursday at least, I'm only on maybe a few hours a night. But I mean, if I can just, like, as soon as I log on, post a message saying I'm online, I'm ready to host, PvP events. I think after a while that might, start to trick into people's minds, and it'll probably, start, getting people to, start joining in on events and stuff like that. I mean, it might not work at first, like during the first few weeks or the first few months even, but I think that, if I keep doing it, then it'll start to, catch people's eyes a little bit.
Well, I mean, if there's nothing else, I guess I could make, even though I haven't been with Soldiers at War for a while, what I have to report on social media is that my Twitch is still fired up and ready to go. There's some updates. I haven't applied to OBS yet, but I still have the overlay that uses the Soldiers at War advertisement. Again, anyone that wants to use that for a Twitch stream or anything, if they want to put it on a site, whatever, I'll send it to them. It includes a bunch of our links. I have switched some things around with Adobe. I'm now using a business account as opposed to a personal account due to just a tad bit of a mix-up and neglect, but I sorted that out. So the other thing I have to say is once I build up more of a disposable income with the months ahead, I do plan on working with some people in the commissioned officers category to work on some extra media, maybe get a Soldiers at War crest, and then after we do that, maybe make some merchandise out of that. I know I have actually started meeting up IRL with these folks, and that includes, like, even if they're like hours away, on the interstate. I think I want to start talking about meetings IRL, like maybe going to a convention or so forth, or somewhere having some IRL meetups would be nice. But that's about all I have to say on my end. Just some plans for media and expansion and just some community in real life.
Definitely. So we'll start this month, see what we can do. Like I said, the changes are going to start happening. We're not going to try to implement them fast. It'll be a nice, steady change so it doesn't shock everybody. We'll meet again in about a month to see how everything's going and see if anybody has any more ideas. Like I said, we know this is not going to happen overnight. We understand, real life is first, and we're going to go from there and see what happens.
All right.
Anybody got anything they'd like to add? Question?
Nope.
Star Trek trivia group ?
Maybe
We have had
Trivia Thursday.
done that before.
Yes.
if there's anything else I could say, it's that these meetings, like the meeting videos, would look a tad bit better if we stopped sitting or kneeling on the tables and actually sat in seats. Like, it was almost perfect, and then towards the end we had someone kneeling on the table there, which is fine. I can't really tell you not to do that. It's just like, eventually we might have something that looks semi-authentic.
That's what Star Trek's been.